channel. It's your girl Liallure here, and I'm back at it again with another video. If you are new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make story times, I do hauls, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, something slight for the kids. You know the vibes. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. I heard y'all was looking for me. I heard y'all was in the comments and y'all was asking me for new story time, so I'm back. Just a quick preface. I am coming down from a flu. Like, I was sick for the past 4 days. It's not the took a test, but I am coming down from a flu, so if I sound like Dennis Rodman, girl, I am sorry. I am trying my best. If you are a returning subscriber, if you love the kid, if you're somebody who just, you know, is here for a good time, make sure you hit that thumbs up button because it helps my video so much. It helps other people see my video, and it helps YouTube recognize that I'm doing my best. So make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. It is Storytime Sunday, everybody's favorite day of the week, and I'm back with some more mess because my life is ghetto. All right, y'all, buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Okay, so this story time is about the time that I found out that I was the side chick. Before y'all judge me, please just listen to the whole story and just open your eyes a little bit, because I was not the one responsible here. I was not at fault. Okay, so this story happens back in I want to say 2016. I say 2016 because this was the time after I broke up with someone. That was a really bad breakup for me. That story time is coming soon enough, but not right now. I gotta mentally prepare myself to tell that story. Anyway, this happened after a breakup. My family and I, pre-pandemic, we used to go to St. Lucia for the holidays. I want to say every other year. We go very frequently because my parents are really big on spending the holidays down there. They find it a lot more enjoyable, and honestly, so do I. So we go to St. Lucia every other year for the holidays. It's real cute. We spend time with our families. We eat good food. I see my cousin Shanice, who's my sister, and we just have a good time. I didn't tell anyone I was coming to St. Lucia except for Shanice because I wanted her to stay with us. I didn't tell anybody I was coming down to St. Lucia because even though I knew people in the neighborhood, those weren't really my friends. My friends are my cousins because it's 20 of them deep. So I don't really need friends when I'm down there, to be honest with you. Also, if you're not new to my channel, you know that I'm not a very extroverted person. I'm very introverted. I keep to myself. I stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to, and that's that. So after we landed, of course, this was in December. I want to say around December 16th. This was around December 16th. I went to St. Lucia, and after we landed, one of my uncles picked us up in a pickup truck from one of my other uncles. That doesn't matter. But anyway, the point is he picked us up and we drove up to my neighborhood. I'm from Denry North in St. Lucia, and that's the valley, right? When I say valley, I really do mean valley. It's basically the country. There's chickens and stuff running around. I'm not joking. But yeah, it's the valley, and it's on a bunch of hills. So when you come from the intersection before you hit my neighborhood, it's a hill and then another hill and then another hill, and then it's my house. So keep that in mind, and that's important. We get to the Gap, right, when we're coming back from the airport, and the Gap is kind of just think of it as a central meeting spot. It's kind of like downtown, but for my neighborhood. That's not really what it is, but that's the simplest way to explain that. So we get to the Gap, and of course my mom stops and she wants to talk to everybody down the street. My mom is one of those people that when she comes to St. Lucia, she wants to see and hear from everybody. She stopped the car so she can get out and talk to somebody that she saw. Hey Magdalena, hi, yes, I'm here, yes, I haven't seen you in so long, girl. That's my mama, right? That's my mom. So I'm in the back of the truck or whatever, and my cousin is sitting next to me. I'm listening to music at this time because, again, I had just broken up with someone maybe 2 months ago, and I was going through it bad. I was still going through it, and it just hurt so much every time I stopped, and I wasn't really thinking or talking to anyone. I would just reminisce, and I would just get sad all over again. So as I'm doing this and my mom is talking to other people, my window is rolled down. And from the corner of my eye, I see someone looking at me. This is where our main character comes in, right? And we're gonna call him Tristan because he's also delusional as like Khloe Kardashian's baby dad. Tristan was looking at me from like, you know, the side or whatever. He's trying to get my attention. I finally look up and I wave at him. Tristan and I have known each other for maybe about like a few years. The first time I came back to St. Lucia after I left for the first time was when I was 13, and I left when I was 6. So I've basically known him since I was 13, and at that time I don't even remember honestly, but I was definitely in college, so I was grown. Like some time had passed, but I had known him consistently throughout the years. So I see him, he gets my attention or whatever, and he's like, hey, he's smiling at me or whatever, and I kind of smiled back, but not really. And he's like mouthing something to me. I have no idea what he's saying because it's so loud. The radio is playing in the car. I
wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
So I'm like, huh? I don't understand. And he's like, all right, cool, you're gonna text me. Got it. So after that, we drove to my house, and when I got access to the Wi-Fi at my grandmother's house, I went on WhatsApp, and of course the first message that I got was from Tristan. So he sent me up, he's like,
oh hey, I didn't know you was gonna come down, that's crazy, you weren't gonna tell me you were coming here.
And I'm like, well, why would I tell you that? We're gonna see me eventually. I don't understand. So he's like,
oh, you weren't gonna tell me, that's crazy, you know I always wanted you to be my girlfriend.
Tristan has always flirted with me on and off, but I haven't really paid attention to it because when you come back to like your country, whatever, I don't know if this applies for everywhere else, but in St. Lucia, especially in my neighborhood, when you come down from wherever you move to, you're a foreigner, and people love your accent. You're a fresh new face. They like the way you dress. They like the way you smile. They like everything about you. Normally when I'm there, I get a lot of male attention. Like, it's normal for me. I don't really pay it much mind, but it's the truth. It is what it is. He was like, oh, I always wanted you to be my girlfriend, and you wasn't gonna tell me you finally came down. I could tell he's flirting with me, and I'm like, listen. I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I'm still recovering from a broken heart, and I don't know if I could do this with you. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. He's like, he didn't deserve you. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. But I didn't really start flirting with him like at all. One day, right, I think this was the next day, we were supposed to go to like the city, the town area in St. Lucia. I was in the back seat with my cousin Shanice. My dad was in the front seat, and my mom was also sitting next to me. And I just remember crying because I was listening to music, and it made me sad all over again about my like breakup. So I'm crying, and my dad turns around, and he's like, why are you crying? I'm like, oh my God, Daddy, I can't believe you left me. Like, I'm getting emotional. Mind you, my dad is a Leo. He's not an emotional person at all. He sees me crying, and he's like, why? And he straight up told me, I'm gonna need you to stop crying over little boys. You're in St. Lucia, have fun. I'm not telling you be messy. I'm not telling you not to be a lady, but I'm telling you to have fun. You can talk to literally anyone you want. Forget him. And when he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right.
Well, hold on on that. Hold on. Now, hold on. I'm not gonna say that. Hold on.
You're absolutely right. For me, that was kind of like a wake-up call for me to tighten up. So after that, I went home, and me and him started talking. So we're flirting back and forth for a few days or whatever. So we're flirting for the next few days, the next 3 days-ish. And I didn't really see him because he worked at the time. And also, we didn't really live like next to each other. We lived maybe about like a 2-minute walk from each other, but we didn't live like this close. And I lived 2 hills away from him. Girl, I wasn't gonna make that trek. I'm so sorry about it. I wasn't gonna do it. Basically, like, I didn't really get to see him a lot. So we're texting back and forth one night. It's maybe about like 9 p.m. and he texts me, he's like, I'm gonna come see you. I was like, oh word. Oh word. Anytime I came down to St. Lucia, like, guys never really wanted to speak to me, especially not in person, because my dad scared the hell out of them. Like, they never wanted to talk to me. So he was like, I'm gonna come see you. He came to see me when it was about 11 o'clock at night. He comes up the road or whatever. He's smelling so nice. He has his fresh clothes on, and he's talking to me, and I'm standing on the balcony, and he's standing up on the road. So I'm like here, and he's like here in relation. So I have to talk up to him basically. And we're talking and we're flirting or whatever. He's asking me how my night's going, if I have any plans, anything like that, just like small talk. About 10 minutes later, he goes back down the road. The next time I saw him was when I actually went to go to a party, and I remember specifically this party was like tattoos versus piercings. It was like a theme for a party. I don't even know why, but we went down the hill to the party, not together, but I did run into him there. The party wasn't really giving nothing of nothing, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna head out. So he was like, yeah, I'm gonna head out too, because this is not my vibe. Like, I'm gonna walk you home. So I said, okay. He walks me up the hill, and we finally get to like this car that's not too far from my house. He says to me, I'm not gonna, you know, go all the way to your house, because you know how your dad is. Like, I'm not even trying to hit his mouth. So I was like, don't worry about it. We're talking, and he's leaning close to me, and then he's like, can I kiss you? He's trying to be all smooth and shit, and I'm like, boy. But he's like, can I kiss you? And I'm like, yeah. So he kisses me. I'm not gonna lie, the kiss was not great. It wasn't great. He gave it the good old college try, and I could appreciate that. He kissed me, whatever, and then I walked home. He kind of like watched me get in the house, and then he turned back around to go home. Again, a next, like, I would say 2-3 days goes by, I don't see him. The next time I saw him, I'm the one who messaged him and was like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, come see you or whatever. So I went down the street to go get a bake and chicken. At the time, I was eating meat, and bacon chicken was my favorite thing to eat in St. Lucia. Like, when I didn't like the provisions and stuff that they made for dinner, I would always get a baked chicken and a soda. That's it. I went to my favorite, like, chicken spot. I went to get the food, and then I was, like, stopping by his house. Keep in mind, I don't have Wi-Fi. Like, the only place I have Wi-Fi is basically at my grandmother's house. I don't have cellular service. So before I left the house, I told him, hey, I'm gonna stop by your house. Me and my cousin gonna pull up. So I'm like stopping by his house, and my cousin Shanice is like, I don't see him. I'm like, just give it a minute. Like, I told him I was gonna come. He said he was gonna come outside. Like, just, I don't know why I did that. I like stop outside, and I'm like waiting for a minute to see if he's gonna come out, and his sister comes out. His sister comes out, and she's like, hey, American. She called me American because, like I said, like most people, you know, you're foreign. She's like, hey, American, and I was like, hey. And then she smirked at me, kind of like, and then she turned back around and she was like, Tristan, your friend is here to see you. And after that, he comes outside, his sister makes a joke, and then he's like, shut up, mind your business, go back inside. So me and him are talking just casually and stuff like that. Mind you, we're in open view of everyone. Like, everyone in the street who's outside can see us. They can see us. I live in a very small neighborhood, so of course other people were talking the next day because people would come up the street and see us, you know, talking to each other. So after that, I left and I went back home. Girl, the next day, my cousin, and we're gonna call her Keisha, my cousin, she comes to the house to see me, and she's like, oh, I heard you was talking to Tristan. And I was like, who told you that? She was like, it doesn't matter. Somebody told me that they saw you talking to Tristan. Are y'all dating? Is this a thing? And I was like, well, not really, because we're just kind of getting to know each other all over again. He's flirting with me, but it's not really that serious. The type of person, I don't like people in my business, and that girl got a big mouth. She has a huge mouth. So I was like, I'm not really about to tell her everything. So she's like, okay, well, just so you know, he has a girlfriend. Girlfriend?
Don't shit last these days. It's all yummy in the beginning. It's just so good to be true in the beginning. And then shit gets real. Shit goes left. Niggas got a girlfriend. Whoa.
Girlfriend? Wait.
Wait a damn minute.
Wait, what was said? He got a girlfriend? I was like, wait, what are you talking? I said, wait, time out. What do you mean he has a girlfriend? He was like, yeah, he has a girlfriend. You've never seen her before because she doesn't live in this neighborhood, but she does come to see him. And I was like, bro, what? This nigga is texting me every single night, and you telling me he has a girlfriend? Are you serious? She was like, that's what the girl told me. We went to school together, and so she told me that's a man. So I'm just letting you know. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. Of course, I go right back inside and I start blasting him. I'm like, yo, my cousin told me you had a girlfriend. You wasn't gonna tell me nothing? That's crazy. You really out here cheating with me, making me look bad? Are you serious right now? Of course, he reads my message, doesn't say anything. He needs time to think of the lies. Goes back inside, and I don't hear from him the whole night, and I'm pissed. I'm livid because, of course, I never want to be a homewrecker. Like, side chick is not in my name. Like, this is not the original side chick song. Not at all. So the next day I get a message from him and he's like, hey, good morning.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a girlfriend. That's why I didn't want people to see us together, because people always in my business and they like to tell lies because that's not true.
Tay just lying. And I'm like, all right, okay. Now that I know this nigga has a girlfriend, I'm not really gonna talk to him, because whether or not you're lying, the fact of the matter is, word on the street, they said you got a girl. And I'm not about to be out here messy, breaking up no relationships, making nobody look at me like I'm thirsty. Oh, I came from America and all I could do was find somebody's man. No.
That is not correct.
I wasn't really talking to him at that point because I was just like, yeah, it's slow for that. That's a dub. A few days later, it's like after Christmas, and I remember this date specifically. It was the 27th. The reason I know it's the 27th is because that's my parents' anniversary, but also that day they had a pageant in the night. It was kind of like a pageant for the Valley Girls or whatever, and I was gonna go with my cousin, of course. So that day around like 2 o'clock, my mom sent me down the street past the Gap to my aunt's house to drop something off for her. I go drop it off. As I'm walking through the Gap, I turn my head this way, and if you look straight that way, you can see around the bend. Like most Caribbean islands, St. Lucia is just a bunch of like turns. It's really just a bunch of turns. So if you look straight ahead, you could see across, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of confusing, but just stick with me. Just know that I could see pretty far. Also, I'm farsighted, so I can see pretty far. And I look back and I'm like, yo,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
so I type Shanice. I said, Shanice, look to the left. She's like, I can't see nothing. I'm like, Shanice, look to the left. Boy, why Shanice started busting out laughing. She was like, yo, is that Tristan? Is that Tristan? With his arm around another girl. I was like, bro, this must be the girlfriend. This must be the girlfriend. Arm around the girl and all. And I'm like, now I'm hot because you playing with me. You lied to me. You said this wasn't your girlfriend. You negated from telling me that was your girlfriend to begin with, and now you in my face. You playing in my face, and I don't like that. So I go home, and later that night, maybe around like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I start getting ready. My mom and my dad were going somewhere, so they dropped us off to the point where the pageant was. It was a pageant, but really it turned into like a party, honestly. So me and Shanice got out the car, we got inside or whatever, gave them tickets, wristbands, all that. We go inside, and who do I see? Tristan right there with his girlfriend, literally. And it's kind of dark in there, but the reason I could see Tristan is because he's relatively light-skinned, and there aren't a lot of light-skinned people in my neighborhood in St. Lucia, so I knew it was him right away. I looked at him, he looked at me, and he looked like he saw a ghost. He was shook. I was like, yeah, got your ass, nigga. I got your ass. So he turned back around, and he had his hand like this, scratching his hair as if he thinking about something. I'm like, you dirty ass nigga, I cannot believe you, bro. So he's looking straight ahead, avoiding eye contact. A few minutes later, I go out to the bar and I go get like a soda for me and Shanice. There he is again, except this time he's by himself. So he's like, oh, you didn't tell me you was coming here. I'm like, bro, you're not my daddy. Like, what do you mean I didn't tell you I was coming here? What do I have to tell you? You're not my man. You're not my dad. Like, worry about your girlfriend. Worry about that. So he was like,
oh, why you acting like that? I told you that's not my girlfriend.
I'm like, you ain't tell me shit. You're a motherfucking liar. You did not tell me shit. So who is that girl? He was like,
oh, that's my cousin.
That's your cousin? You dead ass? This nigga really tried to tell me that was his cousin, and it wasn't given that at all. So I was really annoyed the whole time. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I walked back in, I continued my night, and at some point in the night, the girl was looking at me. I could feel her looking at me because I had walked closer towards the stage. My aunt's company was sponsoring one of the girls, so I kind of walked closer to the stage because I didn't know whether or not I was gonna like present her with her ribbon. So I walked closer to the stage, and I was kind of like in the light. I turned my head back, and I'm looking in the crowd or whatever, listening to the music, and I could see this girl shooting daggers at me. Of course she's shooting daggers at me, because word around the street is I'm your man. Even though I wasn't, to be clear, we never did that. So word around the street is I'm with your man. So of course she's looking at me crazy, and I was just like, I got nothing to say. So that was the end of our interaction together. She never really approached me or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure she knew who I was. Of course, throughout the entire duration of my trip, this boy was texting me, talking about how are you, I miss you, can I come see you, blah blah blah. He even came up the road to see me one day, and I literally did not leave my house. I did not go out to the balcony to see him at all. I was like, boy, like, So that's the end of my story. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe and join the gang, because you already watched the whole video. You might as well stick around. Make sure you follow me on all my socials. That is Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That is in the outro and also in the description box down below. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.